Hello and welcome to a new episode of our series where we're recreating the classic game of columns. Today I want to finalize the detection of matches by also detecting diagonal matches. But before we get into that, I want to do some refactoring of the code we already have. Because we have this find horizontal matches and find vertical matches functions. And they contain a lot of duplicate code. And the first simple refactoring I want to do is I'll take out these loops because they're in both, and I'll bring them into the findMatches function. So that would look like something like this. So for y in row count and for x in 0 call count, and then I want to start doing stuff. What I'll do is I'll, instead of having a loop here, I'll pass in a coordinate. And then we can get rid of this, these loops. And our result now will be this thing, but instead we can do result from union with our new the function that's starting at a coordinate. This one we don't need anymore, and we'll do the same thing with the vertical matches in a bit, but first let's see if all the tests still pass. Okay, these still pass, so if this works once, we can do it again, this time for the vertical ones. And we bring this one also inside of a loop. And now this one should still work correctly as well. Okay, so this took out some code that was duplicated in these functions, but we can take it one step further. Because what we can also do is look at, if we look at these two functions, the only real difference is the direction in which they move towards the next gem to check. So what if instead of hard coding a specific value here, what if we say we have a function called findMatches that starts at a coordinate, but also takes in a direction. And then instead of having just a 1 in the x or in the y, what if we create a variable called delta that will start as our direction, and instead of adding this one we add our delta, and we increment our delta with the direction. Now this breaks because we no longer have this function, but what we can do is we can define a set of directions, for instance up, and for instance to the right, and then we can go through each direction and use our findMatches function that takes a direction. And this should also still pass. Okay, cool. This also means we can now get rid of this function as well. Now, this sounds like a lot of work. What's the advantage? Well, the advantage comes when we want to start doing diagonal. You could even consider just adding the diagonal cases without writing tests, because I feel we might be confident enough that our algorithm is working correctly. But on the other hand, there's no... Let's just make sure that we also check for the diagonal cases as well. So we create a test. A diagonal up match. There's actually two forms of diagonal matches, going from to the top right and going to the bottom right. Okay, we need a board. These need a few more gems because we need to build them up. To prevent them from falling, so we can have one at 1, 0, but the next green one would be at 2, 1, which means we also need one at 2, 0. This can be red. And for green, that would be on 3, 2, meaning we also need a 3, 0. This can be blue. Then we need one for 3, 1. That can be yellow. Then we have a result. And then we assert that the result contains one and 0. 2 and 1, so the green ones, and 3 and 2. Let's see this test fail. Okay, so these are not found. Very well. Then let's check. Go back into our board and let's add this case. So we're going upright, so we go up plus, and now this test should pass. Okay, cool. Again, if it works one way, then we can also do it the other way around. Only this time we need to move in a different direction. So we can go to 3, 0. We will need 1, 0 to be something. We need 1, 1 to be something else. Then we have 1, 2 that can be green. Then we have 2, 0 that can be purple. And we have 2, 1 that can be green. And we have 3, 0 that can also be green. So we should see it sloping downwards. We need to check for these coordinates. if they are in our result. They shouldn't be right now. However, if we also add the down case, this should now work correctly. Okay, so we are detecting diagonal matches. Let's see if this also happens in the game. Let's see if we can make a match, perhaps this way. Okay, so there's a match coming along, but I would like to see a diagonal match because we saw the other ones already. Oh, this one could work, I think. Yeah, so the diagonal ones are now gone as well. These ones still work. And let's see if some more yellows turn up. Okay, yellow, no, diagonal. Okay, so it works, but it's not very exciting. And I think the problem is that the gems, when they match, just vanish. And there's no feedback whatsoever if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It's just, hey, where did my gems go? So what I want to do is I want to add a simple effect that gives some feedback that they intentionally leave. And I'm going to do that by creating, for now, a single static particle effect. We can start with sparks, for instance. Well, it doesn't really matter. We can also start with magic. The gem vanishes. Okay, so this is pretty big. We need to change it a bit to make it to better fit our situation. Let's see the size. Oh, the position range. This should be a lot smaller, so it's more akin to our the size of one of our gems. The speed can be a lot shorter. And now it becomes more of sort of plasma. I think the reason is that our opacity should go down faster. And they are still too big, I think. The scale can be smaller. Maybe we need a few less. Okay, so we now have a sort of more explosion-like effect. Maybe we need... Maybe we have a bit too many. Okay, this is starting to get there. I do think that they need to fade out quicker. or something like this. Then they can perhaps start a little larger. Okay, so something like this. Not really an explosion yet, but who knows. Well, maybe we need a couple more. But I really want to have that burst in there. Oh, this is just playing around with values and seeing what works. I think this might work. Yeah, let's go with this for now. So we have our gem vanishes particles. Let's see, in our game scene where we where we are getting rid of or where we're drawing the board, we need to find a way of getting rid of the gems that we no longer need. Which means that I would like to do something like for gem in board.matches, which we don't have yet. I want to spawn the particle effect. So what I need is, well, first let's place these cases with the other matching cases. And then in a section for when matches are detected, matches are stored in the board. So we have again our board that we update. And then we can assert that match positions is board. I'm sorry, the updated board dot matches. But we don't have this one yet, so let's add it. This could be again be a set. I will start it as empty. Match positions contains 0, 1, and 2, and 3. So let's run this test. Okay, so this test fails. So what we need to do is in our board, in our update, we can take our updated board and store the matches there. Let's see if this still works. Okay, now the test passes. Now I can go to our game scene and we can say for gem for match in board matches, we need to load the SpriteKit file. I'll call it a GIP. This will be an SK node of file name. Let's see, what did we call it again? We called it gem vanishes. If we can find this one, we need to have its position. This will be a CG point of match.x times sprite size.x, and the same for the other one. Sprite size is just a double. Okay, we need to add the offset and move it slightly back to make it center. It's more or less the same function we have here. Why are you complaining about... Oh, this is a CG point, not a CG float. Then we set the position. Then we also make sure that we remove it by running a sequence of actions, and the first action will be waiting for a duration, for instance 1.5 seconds. Or half a second, and then we say remove from parent, and then we take our root node, add our gib. Let's see, this is a gib, and this one I'm going to rename to make it more specific. This is a removed gem. Okay, let's see. Okay, there are some gems. There are some more. Let's see if we can get a match on the next one. Yes, we can. Okay, so they are going away now. Let's see if we can create some more. So we now have a combo going on. Cool. I need to stop playing. Okay, so we have at least some visual feedback that removing of the gems is intended to happen. I think we're not there yet, because I think the effect should be dependent on the type of gem that's going away. But that is something I want to fix next time. For now, I'm going to leave it at this. Thanks for watching and have a great day.